Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. I'm very excited to bring you this video. These are my 5 top players coming back from injury last year that are going to have an effect and an influence on their NBA teams this year. We saw what Klay Thompson did last year with the Warriors coming back from injury and helping vault them to an NBA title last year. Well, these are my 5 guys that are going to have the biggest effect on their team's win totals and potential title chances coming into this next season. I'm not ranking these 5 guys in order, but I did limit the list to 5. But as you know, I love honorable mentions, and so I'm going to give you a couple of names on this honorable mention list as well. We're going to whip through the honorable mention real quick, and then we're going to look at these 5 guys that I've got coming back from injury. They're going to have a great impact on their team, but we're going to go into deep detail, and we're going to look at their indexes on Card Ladder for their cards. We're also going to look at certain specific cards and see which cards have gone up or down the most. If you're a collector, a true collector, and you don't care about the investment aspects of this hobby, this video is probably not for you. If you like hearing about NBA basketball generally or in investing in NBA basketball cards, this video is going to be right up your alley. So I always like to kind of say that at the outset. So my collector friends out there, you know how much I love you, and a lot of my videos are about pure collecting and nothing to do with money. This is not one of those. This is buy low, sell high type stuff that will interest a lot of the subscribers to this channel. Again, remember, these opinions are just my own. I'm not giving any investment advice. You're never going to hear me say, go buy this card. You're just not. I'll tell you what cards I own and what cards I will or won't buy. And I usually put my money where my mouth is, as you guys know if you've watched my channel, but I'm not the dude who's going to tell you what to go buy. You're just not going to get that from me. So without any delay, let's get cranking. Here's my honorable mention list. TJ Warren on the Nets, really good offensive player. He's going to have a nice impact on the Nets. Right now, the Nets have Kyrie, they have Ben Simmons, and they have Kyrie, they have Ben Simmons, and they have Kevin Durant. Will they have those 3, the big 3, when the season starts? I highly doubt it. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like KD and the Nets management are about to kill that, so stay tuned. We'll wait and see. But TJ Warren's an important player if they can kind of keep some semblance of a title contender together, because he's a really good bucket getter. Patrick Williams, haven't seen it yet. I haven't personally seen it. People in Chicago who like the Bulls and follow the Bulls keep talking about how he oozes potential. I haven't seen it. He's supposed to be this, Kawhi Leonard 2.0. Let's see what he can do. We never got to see the Bulls roster at full strength, so stay tuned for that. Patrick Williams is on this honorable mention list. John Wall going to the Clippers. When is the last time this guy has played basketball? When he did, he was an absolute animal. He's never won anything, but I think part of the reason for that is he's never had what he needed around him to win anything. Disgusting, nasty, filthy backcourt tandem in Washington with Bradley Beal. Both of them could score. Both of them could get buckets. But from what I have heard of John Wall throughout his career, he's been a pretty difficult person to placate and to play with and as a teammate. So let's see how he does as 3rd, maybe 4th fiddle over in the Clippers behind Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and to be honest with you, Reggie Jackson's a pretty damn good player. They got a couple other really good players there too. So let's see how John Wall fits in with a team that's expected to win rather than a team that's hoping to win but has no chance to. Kendrick Nunn, let's see if he can help the Lakers get where they need to go. Last I heard, he was still on the Lakers coming back from injury. I remember being excited and hearing that the Lakers took a flyer on him after he was no longer with Miami. He had a brief really good. People freaked out about his Optic rookie card. If I remember, it didn't even have his name on the card. I think it was a Panini error card where it was printed without his name on the Optic base card. But Kendrick Nunn was a really good player in Miami for a stretch there. He's kind of dropped off since then, but the Lakers could use anybody that's relatively young and can dribble the basketball and create for others, because that's something they do not have in bunches. So let's see what Kendrick Nunn's impact will be. I got Jonathan Isaac on my list. I feel for this kid because I like everything he stands for. Really intelligent, really sharp kid off the court, class act. I like Jonathan Isaac a lot. He is a defensive menace. I don't know if he's ever going to get there offensively, but defensively, he's a difference maker from day one. The Orlando Magic, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, and the Detroit Pistons. Those are my 4 bad teams that I will enjoy watching on League Pass because they've got prospects galore. If you guys are looking to get into basketball cards and invest in prospects, just pure prospects, those 4 teams have tons of them. So turn the TV on, order League Pass so you can watch all the games and then watch those trash teams. Actually, I shouldn't say trash teams. Rebuilding teams, and you can watch prospects after prospects if you watch their games, and maybe you can find a niche in this card market and invest in some of those guys. Let's see, Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz is like a forgotten guy, right? One of the top picks in the draft from 2017. Very controversial top pick in the draft from 2017. Had some serious thoracic outlet issues, which I think were really more mental issues, but I'm not a doctor, so I don't, whatever. I'm not a psychiatrist either, but something wasn't right. And so everybody's cast him off. It's really hard once you've been cast off and forgotten in the hobby to come back and be relevant and be embraced by card collectors. So Markelle Fultz, again, on that League Pass team, right? Orlando with Jonathan Isaac and Paolo Banchero and Wendell Carter and Mo Bamba and Jalen Suggs. And they got a million point guards and RJ Hampton and Cole Anthony. They got 4 point guards, or 3 point guards and RJ Hampton. So 4 guards fighting for all those minutes. I don't know how it's going to shake out with Suggs, Fultz, and Cole Anthony, because those 3 guys are all point guards. I mean, that's all they are, and that's all they can do. So they're going to only be able to play 2 of those guys at the point. Somebody's got to shift or get traded or something. I don't know. Maybe there's some other teams out there that would like a nice young point guard, because all 3 of those guys I think have potential. Fultz is on my list. I know a lot of people are going to bash me for that, but I saw a little bit of flashes of brilliance from Fultz in the very few games he's played. I think he's only played like 12 or 15 games over the past 2 seasons, though. So hopefully he comes back healthy and he can get his career back on track, because by all accounts, he seems like a good dude. And then Victor Oladipo, I got 2 more. Victor Oladipo is on my honorable mention list. I think he played 8 games or something like that with Miami and had a cup of coffee in the playoffs, a few minutes here and there, but we didn't see the real Victor Oladipo. People forget, Victor Oladipo was an all-NBA player. He was a multiple-time All-Star. He made an all-NBA defensive team. This is a very good player. He's only 30 years old, so he's not done. He's not like he's 34, right? He's 30 years old, so he's got 2 or 3 meaningful years. And then when you consider how good the Miami Heat are and what a great mix of talent they have, and then you add in, if you can add in a healthy, even if Victor Oladipo is 90% of what he used to be when he was killing people on the Pacers after that trade from OKC, dude, that Miami Heat team is a problem. As a Bucks fan, they worry me a great deal. Another player and the last player on my honorable mention list, and he almost made my top 5. You guys know how high I am on him. If you haven't seen my video, or I don't know when I'm going to release this or when that other video is going to release, but I'm doing a video, my top 10 big men under the age of 25. You're going to find James Wiseman in that top 10 somewhere. I won't spoil the video, but James Wiseman coming off an injury, we saw some serious potential and talent in Summer League. If you guys are true NBA fans and you watch some of this Summer League, you saw James Wiseman do some things that not very many 20, 21-year-old big men in the NBA can do. So he oozes potential. He's 7 foot, 240, left-handed. He stepped out and hit some threes. He showed some counter moves in the post where he can actually play offense. He's not just one of these rim running bigs, like Jarrett Allen and some of these other guys that are really good players. Don't get me wrong, but I think James Wiseman has a little bit of a more versatile offensive package that can do some things on the offensive end. So he really almost cracked my top 5, but that's enough about the honorable mention. I'm 10 minutes into the video and we haven't started the top 5, and we got to talk about their cards too. I'm switching you over. Again, these 5 are going in no order, so back off, relax in the comments. Let me know if I missed somebody in the honorable mention who was injured last year but is coming back this year that you guys think is going to have an impact on an NBA team. Here's my top 5 in no particular order. First, let's start with Zion Williamson. So we've got his index pulled up on Card Ladder. Remember, I always tell you this. It's important to note how many cards are in his index, right? If you see 8 cards for a player in their index, that usually means they've got their PSA 10-9 and BGS 9.5 Prism base, maybe a couple of silver PSA 9 and 10 that are BGS 9.5. So it's all going to be super low end stuff. With Zion, they've got a good mix. Chris and Christina and Josh and the folks at Card Ladder have a good mix. 287 cards in here. So you're going to see some crazy high end and some super crazy low end. And so it's always remember, it's important whenever you're looking at an index for anything, whether it's the stock market or crypto or what, it's important to identify what the constituent parts are of that index so that you properly evaluate the data that you're looking at, right? If his index consisted only of base cards, it may not be down 19%, it may be down 90%. And so you just got to kind of filter that in. That's something you guys are going to have to do on your own when looking at this. But I've got Zion pulled up for the last year. His cards are down only 20%, and you're thinking only 20%? That seems like a lot. Well, it's not compared to some of these other guys on my top 5 list, and you're about to see that. But if you look at what Zion was doing last year, I switched over to Basketball Reference. I mean, look at this highlighted in yellow here. Look at his numbers. 27 points a game, 7.2 rebounds a game, 3.7 assists per game at a 61% effective field goal percentage. He bumped his free throw shooting up to 70%, and then he missed the entire season. So he did that over a 61-game sample. 27 points a game. There's only a few people in the NBA that do that, and there's nobody that does it at age 20, right? He's it. That's it. There's no one out there that did that for any extreme length of time in the NBA at age 20 over the recent years. And so Zion is special. I don't think anybody can deny that. Let's go back to his cards. Let's look at his cards, his particular cards. When I sort by PSA 10, that reduces his index to only 77 cards in PSA 10 condition. So you can see each of these cards, Card Ladder's got them. 2 cards have gone up over the last year that are PSA 10 Zions. One is his penmanship base. I'm going to click it and just show you. And this is another thing to always understand when you're looking at indexes, that if there's not enough sample size, if there's not enough data points, it can skew your percentages. So you may look at this and say, man, his rookie base has really run up. But look at the graph. It's one sale, right? So one sold in January. Somebody paid $4,500 for a card in February. That to me doesn't seem right. That seems like an outlier. That seems like an anomaly. And honestly, I probably would go out on a limb and say, even though it was vetted by Card Ladder, that sale didn't really happen, because nobody is going to pay 4 times what the card's worth just a month later. So there's more to the story there. So always make sure you don't just look at the percentage and then run to eBay and start making decisions. You got to look at the actual data and the sample size. This is a little more believable. So his white select PSA 10, this is his concourse, so his lowest of the white select, number to 149, pop 37. That card's gone up twice in a row, including a recent sale July 6th and June 27th. So we got some recent sample sizes, some recent data here. So this card's actually up a little bit, but that's it, guys. Look, when I cross out of here, that's it. That's the only 2 cards over the last year for Zion PSA 10 that have gone up. There's a bunch that probably haven't sold, and that's why you're seeing zeros. And remember, when I put PSA 10 here, I'm probably taking out all of his RPAs as well. So we're going to be looking at primarily more low-end cards, although there's his Zion, there's his PSA 9 Auto 10 it pulled up, right? So sometimes there'll be a little anomaly that comes in there. But here's all these other PSA 10s, and look at what's happened here. Let's go ahead and resort this by the worst. His far out silver, his sensational swatches. I mean, those are 2 cards that I don't recommend running out and buying. His select courtside base is $407. That to me seems crazy for a base card, but look what's happened here, right? The hobby just got educated. Zion was injured. He's off the radar. He's out of sight, out of mind. It's a $408 card. At one point, the card was selling for $1,900, and if we go back further than that, it was probably selling for more than that, to be quite honest with you. I mean, look at what oh my God, the card hit $3,000. Guys, it's a pop 279 card. I was part of this, right? I was in the hobby here, so I'm not going to say they, but like, I can't imagine paying $3,000 for a Zion Select base card. It would have to be graded a PSA 40 for that to make any sense. It's a pop 279 card. We're coming back to earth. Let's look at it over the last maybe 1 month and see what's happened. Okay, so we've kind of settled here a little bit over the 400 mark. Still seems high to me. That's just me. It just still seems high to me based on what the Doncic base cards are doing. But that's where we're at with Zion, guys. So now you see his index. You know what his index is doing. Over the last month, we've seen a healthy Zion. We've seen some good clips. Look at the last month. His cards are actually trickling up a little bit. If we look at the last 3 months, up a little bit. And so there's a trend here, right? It's only down 6% over the last 6, but over the last 3 months, 1 month and 2 weeks, the card's in the green, fellas. And so I think believers and people are starting to buy into Zion a little bit more, thinking they're going to buy low now. And then I'm guessing a lot of people, this is what I would do. I own 0 Zion cards. I don't own a single Zion Williamson basketball card. But if I was going to be a Zion investor and I did pick up some Zion cards, which I'm not, but if I did, I would probably look to sell those cards about 3 weeks into the season. I am assuming he's going to look fantastic. He's going to have a fantastic roster around him with a lot of excitement in New Orleans. I'm actually excited to go down there and watch some games, only about an hour south of where I'm at. So that's it for Zion. I think a lot of the people that are going to jump back into Zion, I think you're going to see this consistently run up as we approach the season. season, and then maybe a month or so into the season, and then I think you'll see people chill out and relax, because a lot of the people who bought in the offseason right now to make money and sell early in the season or right before the season starts will cash out, and that will boost the supply of cards on the open market, which, as we know, when the supply goes up but the demand remains constant, the prices go down. It's just the way it works. It's the natural order of things. Next on my list of top 5 players is Kawhi Leonard. Has a top 30 NBA player who's active and on a championship contender ever disappeared completely from the basketball card collecting hobby as violently and swiftly as Kawhi Leonard? Again, Kawhi Leonard is not the most lovable cat around. He's got the viral, video of his laugh, which is really funny, and I laugh every time I see it. But he's just not a fan favorite. His accolades are phenomenal. If we switch over here to Basketball Reference, I mean, it speaks for itself. The dude is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's probably a top 35 player in NBA history. Again, I'm throwing the number out there. He may be top 25. I don't know. I mean, we can look, but he's won NBA Finals MVP for 2 different teams, won 2 rings, 5-time All-Star, 2-time champ, as we said, led the league in steals, was an All-Star Game MVP, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, which puts him in very rare and select company, and is on the NBA's 75th anniversary team. So I don't think I'm out of hand saying that the guy's probably in the top 30 to 35 players that ever played the game. His career PER is monstrous, but here's what we can see. The last time he was actually playing basketball, remember, he tore his ACL, so he played a 52-game season in 2020-21. He was averaging 25, 6.5, 5, over a steal and a half a game. He shot 88% from the free throw line. His effective field goal percentage was 57% from the guard position. He's a monster. He's got huge hands. He's got a huge frame and can just kind of usher people into that mid-post area and then do whatever he wants with them. He bullies little people. He raises up over little people. He blows by big people. I mean, he does dunk the ball. He plays a pretty awesome brand of basketball. His off-court personality just isn't that engaging. And to be honest with you, he shot the second best field goal percentage of his entire career last year at 51.2%. He's 29 years old, so he's right there. He's got probably, again, ACLs are nothing to joke about, but he's probably got 2 or 3 more serious prime top 10 caliber player in the world years left in his NBA career. Let's look at his index. And so, as I mentioned, a much smaller index of cards than Zion, okay? But check this out, minus 46.02%. Remember, we said Zion was only, over the last year, only down 20%. And the reason I say that is look at Kawhi, down 46% his index is. Over the last 6 months, it's going to start to flatten out, right? Because it took a dive when he got hurt. Over the last 3 months, down 15%. Over the last month, here we go. People are starting to talk about the Clippers. People are starting to buy cards because it's the NBA offseason. We understand how this cycle works now. Kawhi's got some really good cards. Not the greatest rookie year to buy cards in. It's kind of a boring deal back in 2012. You got your colored 2012 Prism stuff, but there's only silver, gold, and green. You got a couple of autograph options and other products and whatnot, but his Prism base cards taking a huge bath. I'm a holder of 3 of those PSA 10 2012 base. Let's look at his actual cards. Remember, there's only 83 when I sort by PSA 10 up here in the search filter. Now there's 26 PSA 10 Kawhi Leonard cards. Believe it or not, some of these cards are bouncing, man. Some of these cards are looking really good. When you see cards like this, it makes me wonder, are these Kawhi collectors or are these maybe set collectors who know these are case hit cards like Kaboom, Court Kings, and Downtown, and Aurora, hell, and Cornerstones Downtown. Every single one of those cards is a case hit insert, right? And so it makes you wonder, and I've noticed this, people are starting to collect these sets, right? Just like we did in the 90s. I said this was going to happen. People are starting to collect ultra modern case hit sets in high grade. And so you wonder, is this a Kawhi collector that bought this card? Is this or is it a set collector maybe, perhaps, So here's your data right here. Not really very many sales to display, so I don't know how reliable those are going to be. There's not going to be that many cards that are up over the last year for sure. So let's sort it the other way, and you can see all these cards that have taken a bath. But what do you know? His second year Prism base card and his rookie year base card, which I am the proud owner of 3 of them. And yes, I am taking a blood bath on those 3 cards. One of them will go to my 2012 PSA 10 Prism set, which I'm collecting. I'm very close. I only need 15 more. But the other two I bought like an idiot during the bubble. It's like I don't even know what I was thinking. But I guess we were all doing stupid crap back then because everything you bought went up. But anyway, here's a good looking card. Honestly, to be honest with you, I'm not telling you what to buy, but like I'd be interested in buying a 2013 second year silver Prism that if it's down 45% because it's a pop 50 card. It's just a super rare card. Damn, that's not a bad deal there. I wonder where that card's been. I'm a little off track here. There you go. So that card was once a $2,000 card. You can pick it up for $300, $350. Card Ladder says it's gone down even since then. So this is just a look at some of the cards that have gone down the most. Again, I'm not going to give you a bunch of advice to go out there and buy these Pop 455 base or his 2012 Prism, which is Pop 1167 base. I just don't think that's a good idea. But you know, that gives you a good idea of what's happened the last 2 years to the Kawhi Leonard 2012 Prism base rookie card. Anyway, so Kawhi is number 2 on my list. Great player. As far as risk, you know, between Zion and Kawhi, I would say Kawhi has less risk than Zion just because, you know, I say this, I don't mean less risk of getting injured again. I think he has less risk from an investment perspective for 2 reasons. Number one, he's got a historical track record and his resume is, you know, whatever, 80% full of what he's going to do over the course of his career. Zion's is 3% full, right? So if Zion got hit by a bus, God forbid, tomorrow, Zion means nothing. But if Kawhi Leonard gets hit by a bus tomorrow, God forbid, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's Roberto Clemente. Basically, he's a top 35 player of all time, right? So, you know, for that reason, I think there's less risk. And then another reason is Kawhi's cards have dropped so much more precipitously than Zion's that I think he's at a better buy point. So again, I'm not telling you to go out and buy either one of these. I am strictly saying these guys' cards have gone down. These guys are coming back. And both of these guys play for teams that are going to be very much on the NBA radar, especially the Clippers. A lot's expected of them. And then I don't know if there's a more exciting young team on the up than the New Orleans Pelicans. There's a few out there, right? Maybe I'm a homer. I'm a Bucks fan, but I recognize, man, this Pelicans team is young and bouncy and vibrant, and now they got CJ McCollum, the true pros pro in there. So let's see where they go. So there's 2, Zion and Kawhi. Third, all right, let the hate begin. I won't take too much time. Ben Simmons. Again, I'm in Louisiana. There's an LSU flavor here, although his, you know, brief tenure at LSU wasn't the greatest, and it certainly didn't end very well. He left a lot of bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. But here's Ben Simmons, only down 17% over the last year. Let's see what he's done the last 3 months. See, he's still going down. So unlike the others who have kind of flattened out, Ben's kind of flattened out, but even over the last 3 months, he's down 16%. Whereas we saw, you know, with the Zion and the Kawhi, they were starting to flatten out and even come up. I don't think people are still buying Ben Simmons. I still don't think they're going to trust him. I don't even know if he was injured. I don't even know what's going on. Like, I've called him injured, but is his brain injured? I don't know what's happening here. I don't even know what I have left of Ben Simmons. I think I cashed out of almost every single card. I might have a couple of cards hanging around the vault, but I assure you it is nothing of meaning. And it's certainly nothing of value considering what his cards have done. If we look at his cards, the only one, again, that has gone up over the past 1 year is this downtown card right there. And I don't even know if it's sold. Yeah, there's not even any data to display, so I'm not sure why it went up. But another one of those case hit inserts, as you can see, kaboom, kaboom, downtown. Let's see which cards have gone down the most. I bet I can guess. His select base, his select silver, his optic base, his prism base, his net marvels, and then this 2016 downtown. That's interesting. It surprised me that one went down as much as the others. But, I mean, look at the bloodbath these cards are taking. I mean, hell, look at his select base. It's a pop 1,000 card. That's kind of before the crazy overprinting of cards that kind of started to transition in 2018 really is where all hell broke loose. But 1,000 is still 1,000. That's a nasty, crazy chart there. Good luck figuring that out. That's interesting, and that's just over the last 6 months, and I guess it's not as much money as it looks like, but somebody picked one up for $16.50. Guys, it's $30 to grade with PSA right now. If you can pick up a Ben Simmons PSA 10 Select base for $16.50, You can almost recycle the plastic for that much. That's a pretty good pickup. But anyway, it is what it is. His silver, is a much lower pop 176. It's a pretty good looking card there. I've always liked that 2016 year of Select. I think those are really good looking cards. And the last one of those sold for under $100. A Select Silver PSA 10 Ben Simmons rookie. That is how little faith the hobby has in Ben Simmons. But let me tell you why you may need to recall what he has accomplished in this league. He doesn't do it the way we would like him to do it. He's not Damian Lillard or Kobe or Kevin Durant. He's not going to score in bunches. He's not going to score 27 a game. He's not going to hit game winners. But the dude's going to kill you softly and slowly and over the course of 4 quarters. One of the 5 best defenders in the NBA when healthy, period. I'm going to say it. I've listened to enough. I've watched enough with my own eyes. I've listened to his peers speak about him and his opponents speak about him and his adversaries. I've listened to other GMs talk about him. He is an elite defender who is, when healthy, 100% capable of becoming a defensive NBA Defensive Player of the Year. 2-time NBA All-Defensive Team, 3-time All-Star, led the league in steals, and made an All-NBA team, okay? So let's not just kind of cast him aside. I know he doesn't do it the way you guys want him to. I know he's not clutch, and I know everybody hates that about him, but his rookie cards don't need to be selling for $16 in PSA 10 slabs. They just don't. I'm not telling you go buy a bunch of Select base, but good Lord, that just seems preposterous, right? I'd need to buy 1,000 of them for it to matter, but flip them for $30 each or $40 each, right? It would take forever. So I'm not in the Select base market, but good Lord, if you wanted to invest in a player whose cards have plummeted and gone to the toilet, Ben Simmons might be the best option. And by the way, again, let me reiterate, he was an All-NBA player. So here's his numbers. Again, one thing it is concerning is that his numbers dipped last year, and he's not played 60 games for 2 consecutive years, but 14 points, 7.2 rebounds, 7 assists, about really good field goal percentage shooter, and it's because he refuses to shoot a basketball. I don't know what else to put it. And he can't make free throws, and he doesn't even want to take the free throws. And so all that weird mental stuff is what's caused his cards to go down. He's a guy that he's going to come back. None of those things are going to change. He's not going to come back and shoot threes. I'm tired of hearing he is. He's not going to come back and take clutch shots. I'm tired of hearing that he is. He's always going to be a little bit different and play the game a little bit differently than the guys that we've come to know and love that we collect, on a high level, like LeBron and Jordan and Kobe and all those guys. But he's like the opposite of Reggie Miller, right? He is what he is. I mean, Rajon Rondo was the same kind of player, and people loved watching Rondo, and Rondo was one of the 5 best point guards on planet Earth at one point. And so he didn't want to shoot a basketball. He shoots it now, but he didn't want to shoot it for a while there. So Ben Simmons is a pretty cool option as far as a card investment. I'm not touching him. I'm not telling you to go do it, but he's interesting to look at just how much his cards have dropped. But he will have a huge impact on the NBA itself, depending on where he ends up playing or if he ends up playing. Next is Michael Porter Jr. I don't think this is a secret. His cards have taken probably the biggest bloodbath of anybody's. Of course, they did run up to Mount Olympus here over the past 2 years. As you can see, if we put his index on there, a lot of people made a lot of money in Porter, and God help you if you bought at the peak, because you've gotten punched right in the nether region. Let's look at his cards. Over the last 2 years, his cards are down 36%. Over the last year, they're down almost 70%. Let's see what's happened in the last 3 months. By all accounts, it sounds like he's ready for opening day. He's going to be 100% healthy. People don't recognize just how good this kid was at that young of an age. He was pushing 50, 40, 90 and scoring 20 points a game. Over the last 3 months, he's down 10%. Over the last month, he's down 1%. Over the last 2 weeks, pretty small sample size, he's actually up. So maybe people are seeing what I'm seeing, and they're starting to dip into the Michael Porter Jr. market. Again, let's see this, right? 48 cards in his index. There's only 48 cards. There's 20 PSA 10. They do have some high-end cards in here. His fast break prism is up 60%, but small sample size. I would chill out with that. Wow. Yesterday or 2 days ago, somebody paid $200 for that fast break prism PSA 10. That's only a pop 125. His rookie signature silver is a good-looking card. Again, it's a sticker, but sticker auto. Here's his pink pulsar. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the cards that have done the worst. So here you go. I don't know why anybody would ever buy a Crown Royale base die cut. That is just a really, honestly, that's just not a good looking card in my opinion. I don't know. I've seen these that just doesn't look like a quality card. It's a pop 9 because nobody wants to grade that junk. His sensational signatures, his red has taken a bath here. Look at his red. That's a pop 102 card. Remember, the reds are serial numbered to 299. Let's look at the last 6 months on this red. There you go. Okay, so 400, 485. This one dropped all the way down to 285 about a half a month ago, about 3 weeks ago. So again, if you're a huge risk taker, back injuries are scary. We've heard it numerous times. You know, his career's over. Oh, wait, no, he's okay. We fixed it. He'll never have back injuries. Then he's injured. And then, and then he comes back, he's healthy, and he tears up the league, right? When Jamal Murray was gone, it was him and Jokic. He went absolutely bonkers, and everybody ran to grab his cards. And so it shot up like we looked at, right here on his index, back, bubble region, bubble time. And then now he's hurt again, and now they're saying, oh, he's 100% healthy and ready to go. But is he? I mean, I don't know how many times, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 47 times on somebody's vertebrae working. Shame on everybody. So I don't know if that made any sense. It sounded like Michael Scott from The Office, but Michael Porter Jr. is there for the taking, man. You've got to be really ballsy and have some serious cojones to go out there and dump a bunch of money into him right now. But his cards have absolutely nosedived over the last year. I don't know what other way you could possibly look at this and think about it, but if you've really got the nads, he's a guy to go after. Another guy that I think is an interesting play here is Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray could have come back last year. There was rumors about him coming back last year. And then the one thing I haven't talked about, we'll talk about it with Jamal Murray. Porter and Murray are on the same team, right? So you talk about a team changing from one year to the next. They've got the two-time reigning MVP on their team, the PER darling, Chris McGill's favorite player in the world because he's a PER, Superman, Nikola Jokic. And now you're adding a borderline all-star right here in Jamal Murray, right? And then you're adding, honestly, he was a borderline all-star for a stretch there. If you go look at Michael Porter's numbers, I'm going back to Michael Porter because he averaged 19.7 rebounds, almost a block a game, shot 62% on his twos, 64% effective field goal percentage, and almost 80% from the line. Michael Porter Jr. is the real deal. And you can ignore, look, a lot of people are going to focus on this. You can ignore the 9 games he played last year because he was not the same person. He was injured. He was trying to play through it, and then they finally just shut him down and said, the hell with it. Michael Porter Jr. is 6'10", 218. That's bigger than some NBA centers, right? So very elite offensive player. Jamal Murray, same thing, extremely elite offensive player. Who doesn't remember when Jamal Murray went bonkers in the bubble, right? We needed basketball so bad, and Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell put on a show for us that was absolutely incredible in that series between the Nuggets and the Jazz. And so Jamal Murray's coming back to lead this Nuggets team. They just get immediately deeper. One of a long line of incredible NBA point guards that hail from the University of Kentucky, a John Calipari product. He's only 24 years old, 25, I guess now, probably. Let's see, what is he? Yeah, 25 years old. When he was healthy in his last, NBA season, that 48-game season, which I think was COVID, right, where they went to the playoffs and he did his thing in the bubble. He was 21, 4, and 5. And so that's big numbers, guys. An elite free throw shooter year after year, 88, 90, 85, 88, 87. A really good three-point shooter. Shot 40% on over 6.5 attempts a game. That's a lot of attempts, and that is a really good percentage. 40.8% from 3 is tough. Jamal Murray is the real deal. If he's healthy, he's the real deal. And he's been off for what, like a year and a half, like almost 2 full years. He's been off forever. So he literally should come back 100% healthy with super fresh legs. And so Jamal Murray is definitely another guy to look at. And we've got his cards pulled up. Let's look at his chart. He's down 42%. Okay, over the last year, his cards are. Are people jumping back in? I don't know. I haven't looked yet. Let's check it out. Starts to flatten out over 6 months. Over the last 3 months, 6% down. Over the last month, down 15%. So Jamal Murray has not bottomed out. I think Jamal Murray, if I was going to invest in anybody on here, well, I'm not going to say it because I don't know who I would invest in. I'd probably invest in Kawhi because I'd probably try to hedge risk. And like we talked about, Kawhi's got the established resume, whereas none of these other guys do, including Ben. He just doesn't have enough to be meaningful historically long-term. Not yet. But Jamal Murray, we've seen what he can do. We've seen what his top level is over the last year. His PSA 10 silver is down 25%. His base is down 42%, like most base cards in the world. Mosaic base, same thing. These are all base, right? These base and silver cards have just gotten absolutely pummeled. 83, 53, 50, 42, 25. So, and that's not the worst of it. I mean, these cards, same thing. They've only got 6 PSA 10 cards in his index, and he's only got 15 cards in his index. So remember what I was saying. So when we go back and we look at his index, I don't want you guys to overreact to Jamal Murray, because these 15 cards are all low-end cards. And look, I'll even show you. Let's go look at value. In PSA 10, his value on these cards, the highest value is $892, which I know sounds like a lot. That's one gold number to 10, PSA 10, but look at the values here, 568, and then you're all the way down to 119. So you're talking about some very low-end cards there. And then in his index, there's only 15 total cards. If we take out the PSA, I don't know if any high-end cards are in here for Jamal Murray. Yeah, I don't see any really high-end cards. That gold optic is probably the highest version. So they don't have his RPAs in there. They don't have his true gold prisms. They don't have his black 101. They don't have any of that stuff in there. So his index is probably going to look a lot worse than most of the other guys, because they don't have his high-end cards, which have, again, I'm not sitting here telling you high-end cards haven't gone down. I'm just telling you they haven't gone down at the same rate over the last year as base prism, base select, base optic, blah, 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 mosaic this, mosaic that, fill in the blanks, hoops, whatever. So his index is going to be a little bit more skewed downward than, say, Kawhi Leonard or somebody with a little bit higher end cards. They're going to be a little more insulated against this drop. So anyway, that's it for my video, guys. Those are my 5 guys: Zion, Kawhi, Ben, Michael Porter Jr., and Jamal Murray. It is interesting to think that, the Nuggets were a really good basketball team last year, and we saw what Jokic can do with a team of really a decent team, but it really is a team of afterthoughts. And now you bring back 2 guys that are absolute young phenoms with a lot of upside left if they're healthy and can stay healthy. That Nuggets team is a problem. And I'm not a gambler. I've never bet on like sports, but like I know a lot of people like to bet on NBA champions early. Like right now, they like to place bets with Vegas or however people place bets. I don't know how they do that, but I'm not that guy. But I think the Nuggets were like 18-1 to win the NBA championship. That seems like a good bet, right? I'm the guy who's looking for, the dark horse, right? I'd like them at 18-1 a lot more than like the Clippers at 2-1. I think it's a lot more likely the Nuggets win the NBA championship than the Clippers all stay healthy and win it. I may sound stupid a year from now, but that's just the way I'm at. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know who your 5 guys that are going to have the biggest impact on their team this year who didn't play last year or played only sparingly last year. Those are my 5 guys. I went through my honorable mention. There is an argument that Wiseman could sneak in. I guess there's an argument that John Wall or Oladipo could sneak in, but really Wiseman's really the only one that I think if I left somebody off my honorable mention or I left somebody off that was a glaring omission that should be included in my top 5, please let me know. There's no rhyme or reason to this. There's no rule book or guidebook on how to put these lists together, so it's just my opinion. I just hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me ramble for the last 40 minutes, maybe got some cardio work in, or maybe it made your ride to the office a little bit easier. So the channel's growing quick. I love you guys. I love the comments. I love the vociferous debates sometimes in the comments. These prospecting type videos usually get the most, excitable responses from you guys who are watching the videos, because we're passionate about our plays, man. We're passionate about the guys that we want to buy low and sell high, and that we still believe in. There's Ben Simmons guys out there that are still holding big time Ben Simmons cards. I know there's Zion collectors out there that are sweating bullets, that are just waiting to either get out of it or go to their buddy and say, hey, I told you so, right? That's what they're waiting to do. I don't know if there's anybody out there that collects Kawhi, although I think he's an interesting and intriguing play, right? For all the reasons that I've said on this video. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. And like I said, the channel's growing quick. I'm still trying to reply to damn near every comment, but it's getting really hard. And I'll be honest with you, it's a blessing and a curse, because I want more people to watch the show, because it means I can engage the hobby more. It's getting really, really difficult because I'm getting probably 100 direct messages a day now, which is a lot considering I have a wife, 7 kids, 3 companies, a company that I own and run full time, and then I've got a bunch of kids playing travel soccer and travel sports, and I got a baseball player mixed in there too. So I'm trying my absolute best. If I don't respond to one of your messages, don't think I don't care, and don't think I don't like you, because that's definitely not the case. Anyway, I've got some really cool stuff coming up for you guys. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I think I got a few NBA guys that are going to be coming on my channel in the very near future, and maybe some other hobby celebrities and some hobby content creators that are out there, and a couple of interesting videos coming up that I think you guys are really going to dig. So anyway, keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.